Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know who my girlfriend is?
Barbra Streisand?
Barbra Streisand.
Sand.
Sand, yeah, like sands. Like the ocean, like
Barbra
beaches.
Streisand?
No, like Streisand.
Sand.
Hey guys, Brandon here. You know, playing a real-life figure in a film or TV show can be tricky. Sometimes if the person you're portraying has very specific mannerisms or a way of speaking, some amount of mimicry is involved. Other times, you know, it doesn't quite matter if you don't look or sound exactly like the person, just inhabiting their general aura or personality can work. Then there's the rare case when an actor plays a bombastic, exaggerated version of a real-life figure. That can be tough, especially when your character is from the streets.
Okay. Your life's on the line. But you know from that, right? It's way the streets.
But before we dive into this hog-wild performance, I just want to thank you all for watching, and please rate this video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's keep this buzz going. We're having fun, and I appreciate all the feedback from you guys. Thanks again. So, Licorice Pizza. Another banger from Paul Thomas Anderson. He's probably my favorite director. It takes place in the San Fernando Valley in the 1970s, and at its center, it's a love story between Alana, a fiery 20-something aimlessly trying to find her way in life, and Gary, a charismatic 15-year-old actor who's always hustling, looking for the next big opportunity. The whole movie is episodic as they jump from one set piece to another, which allows this cavalcade of brief but legendary performances. Harriet Sansom Harris is hypnotic as a Hollywood agent sizing up Alana in her office.
You're a goddamn fighter, aren't you? I like that.
Sean Penn plays an actor with just 1 foot in reality as he hits on Alana in a bar.
I saw 2 of my best black friends beheaded in the Congo.
Is this lines? Or is this real?
Tom Waits emerges from a haze of smoke just to add to the chaos.
You shiny, golden, tall, inexpensive prick.
John Michael Higgins speaks perfect Japanese to his business partner.
Oh, Miyoko, how you think of this? What do you think of item for newspaper?
Jesus Christ, what is happening?
What did she just say?
It's hard to tell. I don't speak Japanese.
Even choreographer Ryan Heffington has this little moment when he's on the phone with Barbra Streisand. Look at the twirl. Every scene is like a little present.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Paul Thomas Anderson. But there is one standout cameo. About 80 minutes into the film, as Gary and Alana are delivering a waterbed to a mansion in the hills, they meet Jon Peters.
I'm Jon Peters. My only problem in life is that I love tail too much. I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. Is that your sister?
No.
Is your girlfriend?
No.
I love it so much it's gonna kill me one day.
Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a real guy, a hairdresser who started dating Barbra Streisand in the 70s.
Sand.
Streisand.
Streisand.
Who then helped produce her remake of A Star is Born, and went on to produce countless films in the 80s and 90s. Here's a clip of Barbara Walters interviewing him in the 70s.
I've been a hairdresser for 17 years, and I'm also a hustler in that I hustled my whole life to get what I want to do for my life.
It's kind of weird how much he sounds like Bradley Cooper, or how Bradley Cooper sounds like him.
I haven't straightened out yet. It's just different.
I'm trying to make you look good and you're not helping me.
Anyway, this is a guy who my generation may already be familiar with after watching An Evening with Kevin Smith, in which the Clerks writer-director recounts his odd encounters with him as they worked together writing an unproduced Superman film.
You know why you and me are going to do a good job on Superman? And I said, why? He's going, because you and me, we get Superman. You know why? I said, no. He said, because you and me, we're from the streets.
We speak the same language, so we're both from the streets.
Yeah.
I didn't see it before. That's wow. Oh, you get right in there and you do it.
And you know what's kind of weird? Bradley Cooper produced and starred in a remake of A Star is Born, and Jon Peters produced his remake of the same film. I mean, maybe they're cosmically connected in some way. The universe has brought these two unlikely souls together. It was meant to be.
Well, see that Daytona Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mine. Gary, that's filled with gas. That's gonna get me to the movies on time. Because I'm not a dead idiot.
So Paul Thomas Anderson decided to create a monster version of Jon Peters and offered Bradley Cooper the role, to which Bradley was ecstatic. It's worth mentioning that Paul Thomas Anderson inspired Bradley to continue acting when he was younger. Not long after being a student at the Actors Studio in New York and playing a gay camp counselor in Wet Hot American Summer, Bradley was ready to throw in the towel until he saw Punch Drunk Love. So we can thank good old Paulie T. Andy for keeping Bradley in the game. So how did Bradley Cooper approach this role? First off, he separated the real person from the character he was portraying.
I saw it as a character that was written, whose name was Jon Peters, that there was primary source material that I could work off of, but in the end I was helping the director tell that story through that character.
That's an interesting way to approach it, and it gave him full reign to just play around and try anything to reinforce this version of Jon Peters' role in the story as a terrifying foil to Gary and Alana.
I'm gonna kill you and your family if you my house. You got a cat?
No.
You got a dog?
No.
You got your brothers and sisters?
Brother.
Yeah, your brother? I'm gonna choke your brother out right in front of you.
Bradley explored this character enough where there were even some aspects of his character that didn't make the cut, but they're still in there.
We were talking about maybe doing this like Kato Pink Panther fight thing as he comes out, but instead we're like, that's too much, but let's just use the sticks. So, I don't know if you know, but in the scene, Ryan Heffington's character is just holding these two huge bamboo sticks. And we never explain why, but because we had prepped so much, like we knew why. That we,
right.
We
necessarily
would just
try to give context for it. You were very clear on what was going on.
We knew
love that. I love it.
And then they laughed. So you're holding these sticks,
I love it.
So the level of specificity, because we all put the work in, then it paid off.
Additionally, he talked about the subtext of Jon Peters, what's going on inside his head virtually all of the time.
And so it really was like, what is this male archetype, this heavily insecure, has to overpronounce one's masculinity because of that insecurity and whatever they're feeling emasculated by a powerful female partner, all of those things coming from where he does as a hairdresser, all of those things, what does that do to the way he delivered and a newfound sense of power? What is all that? How does that all manifest in behavior?
You can definitely tell he's just trying to keep it all together.
I felt like I was, which is sort of the thing, like if you're going to play drunk, play a guy trying to be sober. You know what I mean?
Right.
I felt like Jon was just trying to just keep it all together, man.
Right. Well, I see you in the truck, and in the truck you had this moment where you go, kind of bring it in, right?
Yes. I mean, he's always trying to bring it in.
Oddly enough, another inspiration for the character of Jon Peters was Jon Peters. Anderson told Jon about what he was doing, and Jon loved it. He just had two notes. One, his character wouldn't insult Alana for her driving skills like he did in the original script. He would try to sleep with her.
We didn't hit it at all. Oh, you smell so good.
And two, Jon wanted his character to use his famous pickup line. Do you like peanut butter sandwiches?
Do you like peanut butter sandwiches?
Peanut butter.
So as this whole Jon Peters sequence continues, despite Jon's warnings, Gary defiantly floods his bedroom, then briskly walks back to the truck to escape. But they see Jon marching his way up the hill, who tells him to go back to the house so he can get a gas can because ironically his car ran out of gas on his way to pick up Barbra Streisand for a date.
No gas in the goddamn car, Steve-O!
You're waiting for something awful to happen, like Alfred Molina playing the drug dealer in Boogie Nights. But his character is just so fixated on making it to Streisand in time.
Barbra Streisand.
Sand.
Yeah, like sand.
So they take him to a gas station where, I think we're just getting a taste of the madness that they actually shot.
Chumash territory!
And there's this segment of a deleted scene in the trailer where he's just breaking car windows in this perfect symmetrical shot. And people are just standing by like he has an audience. Like, what the is going on?
Relax. It's my nozzle.
I want an uncut Jon Peters gas station sequence, please. He just takes control of that territory like a giant spider. For those of you who don't know, Peters wanted a giant spider to fight Superman in the third act of his Superman movie.
And he's like, do you know anything about spiders? And I said, no. And he said, well, they're the fiercest killers in the insect kingdom.
Then the tension gets raised even more when Gary and Alana abandon him to go back to his car, smash the windshield, only to run out of gas and drift out of the hills on nothing but momentum, mostly backwards. At this point in the movie, thanks to Bradley Cooper's unpredictable performance, and I know this doesn't make sense logically at all, I thought the two leads of the film would actually be murdered. But because Paul Thomas Anderson is a master of subverting expectations, the last you see of Jon is Alana avoiding eye contact as he smashes a storefront with a garbage can. And that's it. He doesn't even fight a polar bear or anything. For those of you who don't know, Jon was adamant about Brainiac fighting polar bears in the second act of his Superman script.
And he says, yeah, you know anything about polar bears? And I said, no, I don't. He's like, polar bears are the fiercest killers in the animal kingdom.
As an interesting little bookend here, when Bradley finished his 3 weeks or so on Licorice Pizza, he had to go back to finish his shoot on Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley. Going back and forth between two characters like this might seem daunting, but I like how he describes it here to Mahershala Ali.
Stanton Carlisle, I banked him. I banked him early on. We had 6 months to prep. So he was inside of me, right? And I kept a little pilot light on, you know, so he was all there. I trusted it. Yes. And then I had enough time to create Jon Peters.
It's a shame that Cooper didn't at least get an Oscar nomination for his role in Licorice Pizza. I mean, his character is arguably the most memorable supporting role in the film. And don't give me that, he was only in the movie for like 7 minutes. Well, people have won Oscars for shorter screen time, like Beatrice Straight's win for roughly 5 minutes in Network. But whatever, he's gotten plenty of Oscar nods already, he doesn't need it, he's doing fine. And I know people gave him crap around award season because it seemed like he was really trying too hard to win the Oscar for Maestro.
I love too much, what can I say? But I'm reining it in. I'm reining it in!
It got to the point where people were just picking apart things he said or how he looked when he didn't win. Oh, he looks so mad. Just, all right, come on. My impression of Bradley Cooper is that he's clearly passionate about his work and just gives it his all. I mean, in this conversation with Mahershala Ali, where he's talking about Jon Peters, he's like a little kid. He's so excited about what he's saying.
Like, we didn't even really say much. It was like, should we do another one? I mean, it really was like, let's see what Jon Peters is going to do now.
Whether he's playing an iconic composer in an epic biographical drama, or a space raccoon, or an unpredictable, coked-out Hollywood producer who's just trying to keep it all together, man.
How big's your penis hole?
It's regular sized.
How would you know?
You can tell he just really enjoys the process of creating memorable characters. And why not? He's from the streets.
When I went to the movies and saw a movie that Jon Peters had produced, and it was called The Wild Wild West. So I'm sitting in the theater watching the movie, I'm like, good Lord, this is a piece of But then all of a sudden, like a giant spider shows up.